Hi, welcome to another interview with El Vocero Hispano. The baby formula shortage has affected many mothers in the United States. We're seeing many mothers struggle to find their food for their babies in stores and other local stores that they are aware of. But ever since the pandemic, the shortage has begun. Right now, we have seen a recent recall of certain formulas that have had some bacteria that can be very dangerous for babies as well. Today, to speak about this issue, I have Abigail Bishop from the Kent County Health Department. She is a dietitian and supervises the WIC program here locally. Thank you for being here with us.
Thanks for having me.
The first question is, why are baby formulas being recalled right now?
So those specific Similac formulas that were recalled for a bacteria called Chromobacter that can cause some potentially severe health impacts on infants. And so they recalled the product voluntarily to do an investigation on the plant and make sure that the formula is being produced up to FDA standards.
Okay. And this just happened recently when the pandemic began, or has it been happening before we just weren't aware of it?
The shortage. So the shortage, I think, so speaking from the WIC program, in November of 2021, the state Michigan WIC program transitioned to a contract with Similac, so from Enfamil to Similac, and we kind of were seeing some shortages and distribution issues. In the fall of 2021, and then in February of 2022 when the recall happened, it really just exacerbated the issue and created a much larger scale impact of formula shortages.
What other health issues have we seen within the babies that have had this baby formula?
The recalled formula? Honestly, I don't know that I can speak to that specifically. I'd have to do some research into the different instances of babies who may have been affected by the bacteria in the infant formula. So I think some vomiting, fever, diarrhea. If you go to michigan.gov/WIC, there's a whole page of information on the recall, why it was recalled, what to look for if you think your baby might have been impacted by the recalled formula, and kind of what to do. From there. So it's really helpful information.
Okay. And then we know that it's in both languages, English and Spanish.
English and
too.
Spanish. Yep.
That's great.
Great.
And do you believe that the government is handling the whole shortage well? I know that President Biden did I think he signed a little bit of making it more like a faster expedition of like the formulas being available to stores. Do you think that's a great way of handling it for right now?
I think that you have to look at all the options on the table. My role is specific kind of in this WIC realm. And so for me to speak about things outside of that, I guess I wouldn't be able, I'd have to again do some, looking into it, research on all that's being done. But as far as like the Michigan WIC program, I think the response has been helpful, expanding options for WIC clients who typically only would be able to purchase Similac products, but expanding options to store brand, to other brands outside of Similac, different sizes, when typically you'd only be able to purchase a 12.4 ounce can. Now you can purchase the larger size cans, which has significantly helped a lot of families, at least on the WIC program, have access to other alternatives that might be on the shelf.
Okay. So it's not just Similac, it's other brands as well that they can
for WIC,
go and purchase. Okay.
Yep. So if you're a WIC participant, typically WIC food packages are specific to a brand or a size. And so since the recall, the Michigan WIC division has expanded to Enfamil, Walmart brand, Meijer brand, Family Fare brand, so store brand for some of those standard infant formulas.
Okay.
Now if you get a specialty formula, so like maybe your infant has some health concerns or needs specific formula to meet their nutrient needs, your alternative options narrow quite a bit, and so it's important to talk to the pediatrician about what other alternatives are available if you're, using what we would call a specialty formula.
Okay. Do you think it's safe if parents decide to switch baby formulas, even though their baby is used to just one specific brand?
Yeah, it's a great question. In general, I think it is safe if your baby is on a overall healthy baby, no underlying health concerns or growth concerns. And your baby's on a specific or on a standard formula, you can switch brands and it should generally be okay. Now, with that said, if your baby generally has a soy formula, a standard soy formula, you'd want to try to stick to another brand of soy formula, so the same type of formula. However, you don't have to. You can make the transition and just talk to your pediatrician as you make those changes to make sure that baby's tolerating them well. It might take time for a baby to make the switch. They might not like the taste right away. They might, it might kind of give them some gas, but to give yourself and your baby some time and grace to adjust to the formulas. But generally, if it's a healthy baby on a standard formula, then yeah.
Okay. So do you think it's recommended, or I've seen parents that they see that their child is reacting a little bit different with the new formula, so they decide to just cut it off and just stick back to the one that they've been using. So it is okay for them to switch even though their child is experiencing those effects?
Generally, yes.
Okay.
If at any moment they feel like the transition, they have concerns, they should always consult their pediatrician. It's so important to keep that communication open so that your doctor or primary care physician kind of knows what's going on, and that you're not seeing any major concerns.
Okay. And I've also seen on social media a lot of people sharing different types of make your own formula.
Right.
Is that safe?
So no, we would not recommend that. That's what we would kind of call risky feeding behavior. So we don't want families creating homemade baby formulas for many reasons. A lot of folks will say, well, they used those in the past and they worked. But yes, they did use them in the past, but there was still risks to the infants that had homemade infant formula. And so reasons being is the FDA has really specific nutrient guidelines for infant formula. And so there's specific formula nutrients that you don't want too much, you don't want too little. And so making your own formula can do just that. You might get too little nutrients, so not enough iron, not enough vitamins, minerals. But then on the flip side, maybe too much sodium or too much potassium that babies can't, their bodies or their organs, kidneys and livers can't tolerate large amounts of those minerals. And so that's why it's really important to stick with those FDA-approved formulas that are in, follow the instructions on the cans when, preparing the formula, unless given other instructions by your pediatrician.
Does the FDA have any of their own make your own recipes that they have, or is it just the baby formula that you guys, or that is available?
Yeah, nope, they don't have any suggested make your own baby food formulas. It's the formulas you would find in the stores.
Okay. Yep. And then we just spoke about the risk factors that the babies could have if they have their own baby formula. I was reading an article in the Associated Press, and it was speaking of the CDC said that 23% of Hispanic women exclusively breastfeed for the first 6 months. But it also said that they, including other minorities or minority communities, they experience a lot of difficulty receiving help in certain local offices like SNAP and WIC. What could you tell those parents that are feeling desperate and they feel like they're taking a little bit longer in receiving help?
In regards to breastfeeding or formula?
Just formula.
Okay. So I can speak from the WIC program that we empathize with our families. Being a mom myself, having an infant in general is stressful. A lot of anxiety, a lot of fears, a lot of emotions, and then you add on top of it a formula shortage, and you don't know where, if you're going to be able to find the formula to feed your infant. I can only imagine, what kind of emotions come along with that. And so at the WIC program, we really want to be available to our families. And offer them options, within the limitations of the program. So at the local WIC office, we have to follow the guidelines set by the state WIC office. And so, we try to just walk with our families through, how can we help you find formula for your baby while avoiding some of those risky feeding behaviors like homemade formula or watering down formula or giving cows milk too soon. So those are things we want to avoid. And so you can always call the WIC program. Truthfully, if you're not on the WIC program and you are curious if you would qualify, give us a call and we can walk you through that too and help you figure out if it's a resource that we can offer you. So our number is 616-632-7200, and that will take you to our scheduling line and they can help you with the next steps from there. But same with if you're already on the WIC program and you're having trouble finding formula, or you're breastfeeding and you're having trouble continuing to breastfeed and you want to continue, call us, and we have breastfeeding peer counselors, nurses, dietitians. We have people that want to help, and so we're available to help.
Okay. And then within the WIC program, is the only thing that you guys offer just resources with baby formula and breastfeeding, or is it other resources that you guys have?
Yeah, so the WIC program is very much a screen and refer program. So we refer to all sorts of resources in the community, not just formula, not just breastfeeding, but healthcare, dental, social services, whatever families need, we generally try to find a resource to refer you to. And so, our staff have a wealth of knowledge and experience, and they really try to meet families where they're at and get them set up for success.
Okay. And is there any other information you would like to let any parents know that there is a shortage out there, but to not be as desperate and, don't make your own baby formula for sure?
Right, yeah, I would definitely say avoid, homemade baby formulas, but, keep those communications open with your pediatrician, with your WIC office, with people who can help get you access to formula, especially if you're not finding any on the shelves. There are, options, resources, pantries that we can help people navigate, and so we just want people to know that, we're here, and, my staff have been working so hard since the recall to really be there for families, and so I know that this is something they're passionate about and want to help with. So.
Just one last question, because it just came up to me right now.
Yeah.
Has it been really busy within the WIC program ever since the shortage? Have you been receiving a lot of phone calls or?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we, we're a fairly large WIC program, and so since the recall and the formula shortage, we've really seen an increase in phone calls. An increase in clients asking for help, wanting to know their options, and so we work closely with the state of Michigan WIC office, and they're monitoring inventories, and we're communicating back and forth to be able to help families find formula. So we are able to print a list of WIC approved vendors, so WIC stores within 10 miles of a client's address we have on file, of stores that sell WIC foods, and so I know one huge concern right now is driving from store to store. So some people are visiting 7 to 10 stores in a day just looking for formula, and so if you're a WIC participant, we can get you that list of stores, not just the large vendors, but even some of the smaller stores, community stores that might sell WIC or accept WIC. So you can call them before you drive there, and just kind of see if there is anything in stock, if it's worth driving there and taking the time to go to that store. So that's also a nice resource we can provide WIC participants.
I saw a lot on social media. Many people are, like, within your friends list, they're taking pictures of the store, the shortage that they have, and
to see what's on the shelf.
But it's also helping everybody else try to see if where it's available,
Absolutely.
where it's not.
It's a community effort for sure, especially for new moms with newborns. It's a very overwhelming phase of life, and so to have community support is essential. I would also encourage people to check out healthychildren.org. It's the American Academy of Pediatrics. There's a couple really great articles on there about the formula shortage, and it's kind of laid out in a frequently asked questions format, and so it's really easy to find information. If you have a specific question about the formula, you can find the question, and then a pediatrician who wrote the article answers that question. And it's updated regularly in English and in Spanish. It can also be read to you over the internet.
Okay, that's
really
cool.
Nice. And then also they have an article on homemade baby formula and the dangers of that, which is another great resource. So I would encourage people to look at that.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for this information. I know that there's many mothers, many newly mothers that they're not sure what to do in this moment. So it's great to know that there's a program like WIC that is out there and helping mothers figure out where to go and how to find what they're looking for.
Well, thank you for spreading the word, for having me on the show, and we're happy to help as best we can. So
thank you.
Yeah.
Yep. If you need help finding any baby formula or are not sure what to do if you're not aware of the baby formula that you can make at home, which you're not supposed to, like we just heard, For any more tips, any questions you may have, you can go to michigan.gov/WIC, and then it was healthychildren.org.
Yep.
And then if you have any questions, you can feel free to call the local WIC program here at 616-632-7200.
Yep, you got it.
Okay. Well, thank you, Abigail.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate your time here.
Yeah.
And if you guys have any other questions, you can go to those websites that we just mentioned. And for more interviews in English or Spanish, you can feel free to visit our website at elvocerous.com or our YouTube channel, which is El Vocero Hispano TV. Thank you.